The team at the Bryant Family Medicine All Sports Media wants to take the time to thank our sponsors, Bryant Family Medicine and Heather Martinez Realtor. We also want to thank our support staff, Valerie Rutherford, Allison Messer, Larry Spicer, Addison Sloan, John North, Shane Shackford, and last but not least, Keisha Ambergy. With the support of our fine sponsors, our dedicated staff, and you, the members, we are all working on one goal, the promotion of student athletes. With this team, we can't miss.
Hi, I'm Heather Martinez, active community member and your realtor. Give me a call or text 606-344-0217, or you can reach me by email, heather.martinezrealtor@gmail.com.
Bryant Family Medicine All Sports Media presents Around the Region, the sports talk show. And folks, I'll be lying to you if I told you I'm struggling a little bit tonight. Love you, StreamYard. You've been good to us for many, many years, but all these changes that you're doing to this board right here, I can't keep up with it. I'm seeing two different screens. I don't know what you folks are seeing at home, but this is like really, really confusing. I've got a flat one. I got one up and down. I've got screens everywhere. I've got layouts everywhere. I'm going to have like my own little person doing all this editing while I'm trying to do the show too. This is a little confusing, Edward. Are you with us?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So, what's the thoughts of the new layout here?
Well, there's a little button you can push and get rid of it.
I think we're past Halloween, but yeah, it's pretty wild, some of the stuff here they keep adding. But I know they're doing it, to try the better. And the more we work with it, the better we'll get. But got a good show lined out tonight, Edward. We got two really, really special guests tonight. From Corbin, we got Cole Stevens, and from Harlan, we got, hopefully I'm saying this right, Patience Win. Yeah, Edward said I said it right, but I can't wait to get them both on the show. And before we get started, once again, let's take the time to thank our sponsors. Bryant Family Medicine. Now, what can we say? Our corporate sponsor, and they've been with us from, can I say, day one-ish?
Yeah.
Okay, they've been with us since day one-ish, and they've supported us. They've supported all the local athletes in the area and across the state, and they've actually made a lot of families feel a whole lot more better. They'll go in there with the aches and the coughs and come out feeling 100% better. Definitely that time of year, we got some more storms blowing in next week, but we know what's coming after these storms is the cold weather. And then we know what comes on with the cold weather. So when you're a little bit under the weather, they're definitely the people to go and they'll get you feeling right fine. And then our next sponsor we want to thank, and cannot say enough about this young lady, Heather Martinez. And you see that little QR code there, Edward? Do you see it? I know you don't have as good as eyes as me, but scan that right there. Go to her page and like and share her page, and look at some of the deals that she's got there. If you're in the market for buying or selling a home, she's definitely the hookup, And Ryan's the only guy in their group that's got the money to buy homes and sell homes. But talking about Ryan Garnett, I believe he's at a special birthday gig tonight. Am I right, Edward?
I believe so.
Or are you just having fun putting all these little things on the screen? But want to wish Ryan Gardner, his better half, happy birthday, and that's the reason why he ain't with us. Ryan sort of told us tonight, family comes first, so can't argue with Ryan. And we're way past Halloween. I don't know what you're doing there. You need to get some Thanksgiving stuff up. But while we're also in the thankful spirit, and Edward, I don't know what he's doing. Let's go ahead and give a shout out to all these photographers that's helped us to give us the chance to make some of these really, really good graphics for some of these student athletes that we bring on the show. A shout out to Keisha Ambergy, Jonah Deaton, John Dickinson, Scott Powell, Dennis Mills, Tanner Hoskins, Mater's Memories, Chrissy Brassfield, Bob Cornett, Erica Felty Marler, Chastity Saylor, Sandra Whitehead, Scott Bunch, Daryl Lovett, Carrie Mattingly, and a new one, Paul Coots and Savannah Philpott, Valerie Rutherford, Allison Messer, Edward Hall, Ryan Garnett. We got photographers everywhere. Name us a few more, Edward.
Well, you got Scott Warren, which has helped me out several times. You've got Wildflower Frames Photography, which has helped me out. You've got Nevaeh, which has helped us. And now I can go on for days for all the photographers that's helped me and us throughout the entire state of Kentucky that's gave us the privilege and honor to be able to use their amazing photos they take.
And and I'm sort of interested in seeing how we're looking on their Facebook pages and YouTube pages and all that stuff because I'm seeing two of me, two of Edward, and all these different layouts. And I don't know. It's just it's definitely different. So maybe the viewers are enjoying it. But while we're waiting for our first guest, Edward, we're going to change it up a little bit. Um, we was off last week because we went and covered the state volleyball tournament, which oh, so we're sideways on it, so the other box ain't showing.
That is the YouTube page.
Okay. So, but we was off last week because we was putting extra duty into the state volleyball tournament. Um, let's put a closure on volleyball season and just what did you see up there at the state tournament, Edward?
Well, we went up there on the Saturday to cover, three hard fought games. And really can't go into detail like I would like to. But, it was fun being up there, getting to cover it, and, disappointed in the media outlets that didn't show up because, you go to football, basketball, any of them other sports, you've got media lined up everywhere, but it just seems like, the volleyball ones we've went to, us as media, lets them student athletes down because they ain't fair like it would be if it was football or basketball game. But you got to see 4 teams pouring their heart out there on the court to try to come out victors and bring home the ultimate goal, which is a state championship. And you love it for the team that makes it and wins it, but you hate it for the teams that fall a little short and don't reach their goal for the season. But you you can't ever hang your hat because I mean, look how far they made it.
Absolutely, and that's the sad part about sports. And I say it all the time. Of course, you're gonna have one side that's happy. You're gonna have another side that ain't as happy. So that's and we know all team puts in the same amount of work. All teams have the same goal, and unfortunately, some teams get that, some teams don't. But again, they can learn from that, come back bigger, stronger, faster next following year, and just and can't say enough about George Rogers Clark up there, and just um, you know the just a great people up there, and they put on a really good event. That's a nice little gym. That's a good little volleyball gym up there. I'd like to set up there. Just great people, nice people. Thank you for all the hospitality. I also want to give a big shout to KHSAA for giving us the opportunities to go up there to cover it. We don't have the equipment of some, but we do the best with what we've got, and I think we do pretty good at it. So,
And by the way, if you want to see some photo shots of the games that we got to cover, feel free to go to All Sports Media Photography, and they have all the action for you
yeah, and
in a still photo.
Edward and Ryan taking some really good shots, and just a shout out to everybody. Hey, shout out to Case Crowley. You talk about a warrior. I'm not going to tell you his story, okay? But love him to death, and when you're talking about talent, this guy has talent written all over him. Go to his stuff. Go check his stuff out. Very talented young man, and he's really good at what he does. And I'm going Case. I'm not going to tell you your story on here. You had an adventure, but thankfully everything was okay. But we love you to death, and he was right there. But you're right. The media definitely let them young ladies down. They need a whole lot more support from media than what was up there. But now let's switch gears. Now we're closing the door on one. We still got a playoff running in another sport. Now, I guess you know what sport we're fixing to get into, Edward.
Yep.
So we'll go with 1A. And what we'll do, there's of course 6 classes. We'll talk at least 3 classes tonight. We'll go 1A, 3A, and 4A, which is quite obvious. The reason why we're talking them 3 classes because that's our 3 schools you know, in our 13th region that's left. And so let's start with 1A. And Edward, you was there firsthand. And again, Johnny on the spot, right there doing the work while everybody else is lounging at home. But good work on it. And tell us what you seen up there at Hazard Millsboro.
Well, I was at one of the 1A playoff games. It was Hazard taking on Middlesboro. And what I seen was you can also go watch an interview that was posted up by a young man, and he says it basically about as perfect as you can say it, is it was a game of inches. Just if you're a Middlesboro fan, they got a few more inches to be able to pull out the win than what Hazard did. So it was a very tough back and forth battle. At the start of the game, it was real physical, real up tempo, and getting right there at halftime, you thought Hazard was getting ready to go in with all momentum, and then it was like 2 plays later, with 50 seconds, I think it was, left on the clock, Middlesboro strikes and scores extremely quick to put themselves back up by 2 scores. And when that happened, in my opinion, I think it kind of deflated Hazard a little bit. But they come back out, battled the second half, cut the lead within 2. And, you can go watch the replay with, our good friends from 106.3, the big one. that last play kind of sealed the deal for Middlesboro. It was a tipped pass by a Middlesboro player that allowed the ball to sail over another player from Hazard and land in Joseph Killian's hands in the end zone for a touchdown that allows them to seal the game away.
Yeah. And like you said, it ended up in like inches, and I think if I'm right, and like I said, I believe Hazard was driving a little bit toward the end. Didn't get the first down, and like you said, missed the first down by inches. Had a chance, who knows if they got a first down there. Could they have punched it in? They had trouble getting a 2-point conversion all night. I mean, Middlesbrough was surely the defense was stepping up whenever they had to, and the big guy from Middlesbrough. I know you know who I'm talking about. Just
Malachi Coops.
ram him in there. One play I just saw him just turn his whole body around and just literally running it backward, just pushing half a team, into the end zone. It just that's a weapon, folks. That dude is almost impossible to tackle from that short of a distance. And I think
And that was actually Malachi's, I believe it was his 18th birthday that night also.
Oh, well, happy birthday to him. And, it's just, get out. So let's step it up, to now what's coming up. And Edward, I'm not expecting you to pick a winner or loser. We don't do that here. Now Millsboro gets the honor of traveling to Pikeville, which I'm still having a hard time understanding how some of this is worked out. We already know about the RPI half a state this round, full state next round, RPI based. Yeah, I get it, but as good of a season as Millsboro has, now you're traveling Pikeville. I mean, undefeated, you're traveling into third round, but just sometimes the salt ain't your way. But
well, in my opinion, I think Garrett County forfeiting the game early in the season hurt Middlesboro in the long run, because if they would have played them and if they was capable of coming out with the win, that was a bigger school. RPI would have helped them out tremendously there.
Yep.
So that would have probably put them in, the 2 or 3 spot in the RPI, gave them home field all the way to at least probably about the 4th round. And then, having to schedule a out-of-state team, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that just gives you a straight 500 regardless how it goes.
Yep.
So, those two things in the end came back a little bit. But, like Coach French told me, it's hard to try to find teams that cancels on you, trying to find another team to where you're not traveling 3 and 4 hours out of your way to try to put them on your schedule.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it makes sense.
And you're right. I think outstates I have a game what it concludes to, but look ahead, Pikeville. What do you see there?
Well, what I see is
the winner and loser. Like I said, we don't.
Well, like I told you, it don't matter if you're the best team coming into the game or the worst team coming into that game. One mistake, one fumble, one turnover, something like that can change the outcome of any game. But what I see is that you're going to have 2 really talented teams going up against each other. 2 teams that's got athletes in all positions that's going to be looking to try to advance to the next round and so forth. But it's going to boil down to who gets the ball first. Because I think both teams are going to have a very difficult time stopping each team defensively.
I think, yeah, and I've watched a little bit of Pikeville this year, and I know you have. You watched a lot of Millsboro. I think Pikeville's going to come out with the mentality they're going to try to slow Millsboro down. They're going to try to probably do the ground and pound to them quite a bit. So I think a lot of that game's going to deal with who can, push their will on the other team more than the other. I'm sure Millsboro would like a shootout where Pikeville would probably want a slower type game. That's just my opinion, but that's a tough road trip. That's a tough road trip for anybody. But we said that from the beginning of the playoffs. If Millsboro gets their ultimate goal, they're going to earn it, and they've got a lot of teams ahead of them. But any team has to earn it to get to the carpet. But nothing's easy right now. But let's go on to 3A. Bell Road. I had a lot of delays. It was very rainy and lightning and just a miserable type, night. At least it wasn't snowing. But Bell went on, and now they're looking at a pretty good Lawrence County team. And what do you see there?
Well, I've got to see a little bit of game footage of Lawrence County. And of course, I've covered Bell several times this season, last season, so forth. I see two teams that's going to try to, going to be battling for position. Everybody knows how Dudley is. He's going to, if he thinks you're going to strike quick, he's going to slow the ball down on you and force your team to play defense and wear you out for when you get ready for offense. And that's what most teams have to look forward to when they play Bell County is can my 11 on defense stop Bell County's run game? But then here's the kicker with this year's Bell County team. You stop the run, now you got to stop the pass. So no predictions. I can see two physical teams up front going to be battling for position.
Yeah, I've seen one interesting stat. Lawrence County has had a hard time to run. And when you look at that, when you're thinking run, you're like, they're fixing to play Bell County. And this team has had a hard time stopping the run. I mean, and that's the one thing that I look at. That's hard for me not to keep staring at really, really hard. You're fixing to go Log Mountain on probably a rough weather night, and you're having a hard time stopping the run. But again, I'm sure they're going to be prepared, and you don't get to this late in the playoffs if you're not good. And they beat a really, really good Rock Castle County team. They were, firsthand that I've been really, really high on all year. I thought Rock Castle was a I use the term dog. I thought that they was one of the teams I have to deal with, and I've watched them on several occasions. That's an impressive win by Lawrence County, and but we'll see how that goes. And before we get to 4A, let's go ahead and bring on one of the guys that we'll probably talk about. Well, after we'll probably save 4A for later, but let's go ahead and bring on Cole Stevens. Cole, thank you for coming on.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, we was fixing to get into 4A a little bit, and then I was like, well, there's Cole, and ain't nobody's going to know that more than what you do. So, let's just start out again. Just talk a little bit about the season you've had so far.
I think we've done well this season. We went through a couple downs, but I know that we bounced back all year, and we're very confident, and we're rolling right now going in the playoffs.
That's absolutely, and I know that you're taking one game at a time. Us being old media guys, we could look ahead for you, but and all that stuff. But but looking at that game you had against Lincoln County, that was impressive. I know you're taking it one game at a time. Yeah. That was a really, really good Lincoln County team. I think that went to that game themselves. I believe they only had like 2 losses in the season. That's a real good Lincoln County team, and when I saw that score, I was like, wow. I mean, I know that you're I'm sure you're going to say you still got room for improvement, but do you think that you're peaking at the right time?
Yes, for sure. We prepared really well going into that game, and we were ready, and obviously it showed.
And every time I go to Corbin and I see the field, I'm just overwhelmed. Now, I know you played on it quite a bit now. I'm not calling you an old guy or anything like that, but do you just, when you're on that field, are you at all sometimes still yet just looking around at how beautiful it is?
We're blessed. I'll tell you that. I mean, we go on the field, there's goosebumps every single time we go on, even at practice. We're very blessed to have the facilities that we do.
Absolutely. That field is just second to none. And every time I go there, I'm like, wow, these guys are really, really lucky. And plus, you've got the support. You got Red Hound Nation. And I think, if I saw right, maybe you might correct me, I think your eighth grade team just won another state championship again. So the future's bright for you. And the one thing, Edward, I'm sure you
Yes.
know this too. And I think a lot of the Corbin folks said that, when you talk about the little league from the middle school to high school, everybody's red hounds. They're not different names. They're a red hound from, the time they start to the time they finish. And you can see on how it's, keeps that program being as excellent as you are. And just have you had any time to look at Highlands yet? Or
Yeah, we watched some film. We know they're a good team, but we know that we're going to be prepared, especially this week going into the game. Just prepare in practice and, get ready for a battle.
absolutely, Edward?
So, talking about the game against Highlands, it's going to be a pretty hefty drive up there. So, what are y'all going to do to be able to keep yourself focused in on the game?
Definitely just focusing on the goal, right? Going up there and get the win, not worrying about all the distractions around us. And, the drive, yeah, but I think that we'll definitely be ready when we take the field.
Absolutely. So, we've got the see-ins a couple times this season. And, looking at the teams that you've had to go through, playing that style schedule, how do you think that's got you prepared for right now?
Well, I've always told myself, and coaches always told us too, the last team you play, you don't want it to be the best team. So I think that we've played all these good teams to prepare us for the battles that we're about to face. And I think it's definitely going to help us.
Absolutely. And so, I gotta ask you, every time, like Mark said, I'm just amazed every time I step up there at Corbin to see the facilities you got. So I gotta ask you, when it's game time and you're an athlete out there on that field for Corbin, what's it like?
It's, just eye opening. And it's like, the nerves, all that stuff, it all happens before the game, and then right over the ball snapped, obviously it goes away. But just taking it in and, living in the moment, just the best thing.
This is a question I've been wanting to ask. When you do the Red Hound walk, does that give you goosebumps and get you pumped up and ready to go?
Oh yeah, it's awesome. That's the best part.
Cole, let me ask you an off the wall question. Where does that Red Hound walk actually start at?
Right across the bridge from Rotary Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you had to walk a long way, because I was like
No.
me, it wear me out just if I. Well, let's go walk 2 miles and go play a football game, or something like that.
Yeah, it's not that far.
You probably wouldn't go for that as a team. Let's start like the walk from Little Caesars or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, Coach, that's too far.
No, if we had to walk a mile to the game, I think all our legs would be pretty tired going out there.
I'd say Corbin would enjoy it, though. It'd be like a parade all the way through. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the whole community out there is the best part.
Exactly. Have a little candy. You'd have Mark follow you down the street if you bring candy.
Yeah.
Basically, it's all candy.
Yeah, but I gotta get your thoughts on your fans, because every time I've seen you at home or away, your fan base always shows up and shows out. So I just gotta get your thoughts on your fans.
The best part, we do it for the community, and right now we want to win a state championship for Corbin, and it's all about the fans. Yes, it's about us too, but we do it for the city of Corbin.
Absolutely. And before I get you over to Mark, I gotta ask you, you know, before the season started, was there a certain game on your schedule that you had highlighted you couldn't wait to play in?
It was Johnson Central, Douglas, and all these big teams that we played, and we fell short, but I believe that it made us better, and I believe that it gave us battles that we had to go through, and I think it's going to prepare us for what's about to come.
Absolutely. But Mark,
Cal, I know you got other engagements tonight too, so I won't hold you on much longer. But I got to ask you a couple off the wall things before I let you go. I know you're a pretty laid back guy and stuff, but the uniforms and the helmets, are they one certain type of dress you'd like better than the other? Because I know in Corbin they bring like three or four different types of uniforms, helmets, and I mean, are they one way of dressing you like better than the other?
I will say these new gray uniforms are pretty slick. I like those, but you can't go wrong with you can't go wrong with the red and gray pants, the classic. So, that's probably my favorite.
I like the gray, and please correct my old brain, right or wrong, but don't you just have chrome helmets too?
We did, but we actually gave them to donors that help Corbin football throughout these years. So,
Oh, okay, okay. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I love the chrome helmets. I know that I'd seen them onions before. I was like, what? But I'm like you. I like the gray. The gray is, I
yeah.
don't know. It's got some wang to it. Uh, but before we let you go, I'm gonna. I don't know if you're familiar for a show. But last year we threw away the NCAA basketball teams and we did our field of 64 favorite restaurants. I think Texas Roadhouse won our national championship. So we decided to do favorite sports movies this year, and I think we're down to our final four. So we're going to ask you if you'd vote on the matchups on it, and then I think Edward has some things he'd probably want to show you. But if I can pull these up, there you go. Edward's Johnny on the spot. Remember the Titans versus the Blind Side.
I'm going to go Remember the Titans.
Yeah, I
Classic.
like Remember. And the other one was Friday Night Lights against Sandlot.
All right, go Sandlot. Sandlot's probably my favorite movie. I'm not going to lie.
you
Sandlot
can't
went
go
way
wrong
further.
with Sandlot.
No,
You know,
no.
Sandlots went way further than what I thought it would go. And we've had some really good shows on there. We actually even had the Corbin Bates movie 23 Blasts on there. We had the Hoosiers. And we had like all the Rockies. And then you keep looking at Sandlot every week. Sandlot,
Yeah.
Sandlot.
It's a classic. I mean, everybody loves a Sandlot.
Absolutely.
But Koa, I do want to thank you for your time, and you just keep that Corbin train rolling, and been watching you the last couple of years, and seeing you develop into the person you are today, and I just gotta absolutely wish you personally the best of luck in your future and your team. Just keep rolling.
I appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you for the opportunity, and hopefully next time I'm on here, we got a state championship. So.
Well, if you do win the state championship, just remember, draw me the little chocolate bars like the Hershey's and Mr. Good bars stuff. Draw all that peppermint stuff to Edward.
Okay, sounds good.
So before we let you go, Cole, we do put together a couple things for each student athlete that comes on our show, and this is our way of saying thank you for taking your time. And I'll get these over to Mark, so that way he can get them sent over to you, and they will be posted on our social media sites. But I got to ask you for a favor. Out of the two we put together, tell me which one of the two you like the most. So out of those two, which one did you like the most?
Man, I love both of them, but I'm probably gonna go with the first one.
Finally.
No, it might have hurt my
Finally.
feelings.
I know he's gonna say the original finally won. I was on a winning streak. I'd won like 3 out of the last 4 on 'em.
Those are awesome.
Oh,
Thank you.
geez.
I appreciate that.
We do appreciate you. And, again, from everything that I've got to see the last few years, you're killing it. Your team's killing it. You've only got one more thing to do, but you got two. You got a couple games you got to take it. But, hopefully we see you up there on the carpet and you're holding up the hardware.
One game at a time. We're ready.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I want to wish you best of luck there on Friday.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
That was a good interview, and we knew it would be of Cole, and and we'll get to 4A here in a little bit because I think our next guest is up, is in. But one thing about Cole, just looking at him, he's all smiles and he's a laid back. Everybody I've talked to, they love him, and he's a great athlete. He's got a good head on his shoulders. I'm telling you, he's just what you want. It's what we see in so many athletes in this area. And Edward, I know how I was at that age. And if you was honest, how you was at that age. This guy is light years above us as far as the maturity levels. And you can just tell Cole's the type of guy that you would just like to, hey, let's go hang out, let's go fishing, and he would just be the type of guy that that would just be a good guy, just to be around. But now when it comes game time, he's he's bringing it, and Corbin always does, and he's right. Corbin Highlands, that's going to be. I mean, when you're talking about traditional powerhouses, Corbin Highlands is in that conversation. Fort Thomas Highlands, the Corbin Red Hounds, they're part of that conversation on traditional powerhouses, and that's you got to call them elite groups, and it's going to be 2 really really good teams going at it, and it's going to be an environment second to none up there, and I wish I had time to make the trip up there after work, but got this thing called a job that's really hard to do. But that's going to be an absolute war. But are we ready for our next guest? Are you muted, Edward? Muted. Are you unmuted? Okay. But let's go ahead and welcome our next guest on. Patience Wynn is how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Did I say that name right? Patience.
Yes.
I am good. I am good. But I'll be honest with you. I'm not gonna call you an old lady or anything like that. You played basketball a few years now, but I'm gonna rewind the clock a little bit. But one of the best performances I've seen was last year in the tournament. Edward, you know where I'm going at. And just before we start talking about this year, let's talk a little bit about that game and what clicked there.
I just knew that would be the last game if I didn't put up all the points, and it was just a big stage, and it just gave me like confidence, and my coaches and my sister especially gave me a lot of confidence just to play my game, and it just clicked that game.
I forgot the final stat line on that, but that was Edward probably has the final stat line right at his fingertips. I know he's fixing the. He knows what I'm talking. See, he's doing the work right now. But we'll fast forward it. Why I know he's looking at that.
30
points. 30. I mean, did the go feel about that big around that night? Like you felt like you could have closed your eyes, shot behind your back,
Yeah.
So that was one night you could really say you was in the zone. But that was just a performance. That was. I've been at the arena for a few years, and I'm a old stogie or whatever you want to call me, and I've been there a few years. But that was probably one of the best individual performances I've ever seen, and you brought it. And but now let's fast forward it. Tell us what you did on the off season and what you did to improve your game and all that good stuff.
I definitely put a lot of work in and focusing on my defense, making my defense better and my ball handling a lot better.
Well, both of that was pretty good. I can't say how much more better you get at it, but yeah, both those, especially the ball handling, you got some moves there. But
I was getting ready to say the same thing. I don't know how it could get much better.
oh, geez, she's got if she's got better at ball handling, folks, forget it. Just let her score. I'll just let her score. I would, dude. You're gonna break ankles trying to guard her, but yeah. But you know, tell us a little bit about your team, and I know it's early season. It's hard to get a grasp, on early season stuff. And I know you think you probably played you might had a preseason game or something by now, but your early thoughts so far.
We look good right now. We're in really good shape, and we're gonna focus a lot on transition this year and just playing defense and letting our offense come. And we have really good chemistry. So far we look pretty stable and good.
Well, I know Everett's giving me that 30 yards stare because Everett's got about 1,732 questions to ask you. So, patience, I'm just advising you maybe a strong cup of coffee. He might hold you on here for about 3.5 hours or something. So, but if you need him to hush up, tell him to hush up. And he will. The floor is yours, Edward.
So, first off, I got to ask you about what your coach has put together for your schedule so far. I got to get your thoughts on it.
It looks like we have a pretty good schedule. We have tough teams, but I think it's a very challenging, but we should do pretty good with it.
So, last season we seen how you was, scoring at will on about every team that you was playing against. And from what you done this season, from the few seniors you lost, how do you think that your team has changed and is moving forward?
Well, last year we relied a lot on Morning Collie to score and just caught a lot of our points. But we have a few people that have been willing to step up and kind of try to fill what they left. So it's been hard, but I think we have a pretty good lineup to do so.
So I'm sure I've probably asked you this same question like 1,000 times, but being an athlete, playing at Harlan, how hard is it to hear your coaches in that gymnasium?
It's pretty hard. It echoes really badly. So when it's loud and there's intense games, it's kind of hard to hear what they're saying.
Because me and Mark's talked about that, several times. I think that's probably one of the most loudest gyms I have been in, and I think it's just the adrenaline you get from both fan bases, going at it, and just gives you goosebumps being there. But as an athlete, when you're playing for Harlan, just give me your feel about being an athlete for Harlan.
It's a really good program, and I love being a part of it. And Harlan stands for a lot, so you just have to keep your composure and just play.
So, I do know you're a multi-sport star. So, is it harder to transition from one sport to the other, or does that make it more easier for you?
I think shape-wise, it's easier to just go right back to back and just still play sport. But sometimes it's hard to remember that I'm not playing volleyball or I'm not playing basketball.
So, I do got to ask you: have you ever been in the middle of a game and just tried to jump up and like kill the basketball?
No, maybe when I'm blocking somebody, I might try a little. It might be a little too hard.
I could so see me doing that out there. But first I got to be able to jump. So I mean, that's the downfall. But with the way that your schedule is shaped up, is there a team that you can't wait to play already?
Um, I guess HC. HC is always a fun game because of the rivalry, and this year it should be a pretty good game.
I've been to several Harlan County games. Both sides, the boys' side and girls' side, and I do love going to them because the gyms are always packed, the atmosphere is always amazing, and them are just normally really really great games to watch. But Mark, I've got like 97 more, so I'll let you have it for a minute or two.
I figured you did, and patience, she's going to kind of say this patience. You might lose your patience if we start asking you too much here. But no, I know that just again seeing the athlete that you're becoming and seeing. I keep harping on about what I seen last year, and again, I'm going to say it one more time to our viewers. One of the best performances I've ever seen at that arena. And I've watched a lot of basketball over the years, and that was and just I cannot give you enough credit. But I know that's last year, then this is a new year. Um, Again, you spoke of you lost a lot of talent off of last year's team, and one you probably know pretty well, but might be going to Union. Well, okay, I'll just hush up about that. But good luck to her too, and always great interview too. And just does it feel any differently, or is it just roll your sleeves up, let's go back to work?
No, it feels a lot different, especially not having my sister there. But I mean, we're gonna definitely miss them, and it's hard to feel their void. But I think we're doing it.
Well, I know Monty and Kylie and all them, and I know that they took a lot of leadership roles too. Have you put upon yourself to take more of like a leadership type role this year?
Yeah, we needed somebody to step up and be a leader, and we have a lot of people that did that. But I mean, I've been under Amani and Kali for a while, so just kind of learning from them was good, and I'm just trying to be the kind of leaders that they were.
Absolutely, and and you spoke of you're feeling pretty good about the season and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm not calling you an old person. You got your whole life ahead, but when you play that first regular season game this year, do you get the butterflies a little bit? Start a new season type thing, or is it just same old, same old?
Yeah, I think I always get nervous before games, no matter what game it is.
So are there any pregame stuff that you care to tell us about that you do, like a same ritual or something?
No, not really. I always chew gum during a game, though. That's one thing I always do. It just kind of helps me focus.
Ryan, Ryan, you know I'm fixing to go on this and Edward. So do you want to ask her or do you want me to ask her?
Go right ahead, but next time we're at a game together, I'm throwing a basketball at you
Why?
because you called me Ryan.
But I was thinking about Ryan because I was thinking about Ryan's question. Okay.
You think I should let him slide for calling me Ryan Patience, or I should throw a basketball at him or something?
No, you should let him slide.
Well, you got lucky. She said let you slide.
Yeah, because she's nice. She ain't mean like you are. She always puts the game face on the game. She's nice outside of the. But I will still Ryan's question, and this is a subject that's been quite. Well, what's the word for it, Edward? It's been a subject because the answers ain't what it used to be. The answers has changed. So what's the word for it?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the word off the top of my
I
head.
don't know the word either. We don't know the words, but in the Harlan area, what is your favorite place to eat at?
The Mexican restaurant.
See, I'm beginning to think Dairy Hut and Rax has just faded away.
Nobody likes
Yeah,
Cherry
it
Hut.
is.
Patience, you like either one of them places?
Yeah, I like Dairy Hut. I like Rax too, but I don't really go there a lot.
I'm beginning, which also thinks that might be the only Rax left around too.
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay, but before we let you go, I think Edward might have a few more things for you, but I also know Edward's got something he'd like to show you, something he made up for you. It's just something for us to thank you for coming on, giving us your time. I know you got this thing called school and life, and probably got 100 more better things to do instead of listen to two guys ask you 1,000 questions on a Sunday night right before your school week started. So, do thank you for giving us your time for sure. But I don't know if you're familiar for stuff. Instead of us last year, we kicked out every college basketball team around, and we said Airfield of 64 is going to be favorite restaurants. So Texas Roadhouse won the national championship for us. Thank you, Texas Roadhouse. No free coupons on nothing. We gave you free sponsorships for how many weeks? And they didn't even give us a roll. A roll, Texas Roadhouse. One roll. I'm sorry, patience. I just had to vent that, you know. We gave them free advertising, and they wouldn't give us a gift certificate. But this year we decided to do sports movies. I don't know if you watch a lot of sports movies, but we're going to ask you to vote on two matchups that we have because we're down to our final four in sports movies. So we're going to ask you if you care to vote on them.
Okay.
Remember the Titans versus the Blind Side.
The blonde side. Okay.
Friday Night Lights versus Sandlot.
Sandlot.
I have a feeling Sandlot might actually win this whole thing. You know, we've had a lot of movies in their pages. We had like all the Rockies, and I don't know if you watch a lot of the sports movies. We had all the Airbuds and all the what else did we have? Like Happy Gilmores and Billy Madison's, and all of a sudden here's Sandlot. Like, where did Sandlot come from? I think
Sandlot
Sandlot.
may be classified one of the greatest movies of all time.
Well, it's looking at it. Looks like Sandlot's going to win the national championship. I'd say they're winning tonight. Only Ryan keeps up the posters there. But that being said, just thank you for your time and patience. I'm sure that Everett's got a few more things for you.
Thank you.
So, patience, we do put together a couple graphics for each student athlete that comes on our show, and this is our way of saying thank you for taking your time. And I will get these over to Mark so he can get them out to you, and they will be posted on all of our social media sites. And during the course of this season, any type of milestone you hit, any amazing performances like you had at the arena last year,
Any more
please feel
30-point
free.
games.
Please feel free to reach out to me. Have your mom, your coaches, anybody reach out to me, and I'd love to put graphics together for you to try to promote you to the best of our ability. But out of these two graphics that we've made, kind of tell me which one of the two you like the most.
I have to say that I like the first one the most.
The OG graphic is back and running full stride.
So now Everett's going to have the head like this now.
But patience, I do want to thank you for taking the time, and I'm looking forward to getting out to being able to cover you and your team this season. And I just want to wish you and your team best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on here.
Patience, great interview. You get it. You've come in here and you've laughed with us, and you've had a good time with it. You don't need two guys asking you all these serious questions about the breakdown of a basketball game, and you know more basketball than both of us put together. So, I mean, you get laughter's the best mess, and you've come in here and thank you for the laughs with you. And again, whatever it said, I'm gonna piggyback off him. Reach out to us. Let's make stuff up for you and stuff like that. Let's put you out there and give you the attention that you deserve because not only a great person inside and out, you're a really good student athlete, and the more attention that we can give to you might be able to help you on down the road about the big offers and stuff like that you mostly deserve. And then when you do get the big offers, and make it big, and get the fine homes and all that stuff and the big money. You're gonna need somebody cutting your grass and weed eating and all that. Just think of us. Ever can weed eat, I'll cut your grass and we won't charge you that much. Free tickets also. You give us free tickets, but
Okay.
just again, good luck to you personally. And good luck to your team, and hopefully we can get down there really, really soon and cover you and just watch you roll on.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Man, that's two really good interviews. Ever go ahead and say it. Say it. Say, Mark, you brought on some really good guests tonight. Go ahead and say it. I'm waiting for it. See, the fans liked it.
See, the guest was good, but this is what the fans got to say about you, though.
But they like my guests I brought on. but yeah, really, really good. And it just we say here all the time. The door of volleyball sort of closed. It didn't close. People go to clubs and everything else now. Don't ever really end these days and times. But on the Kentucky side of things, and then you got football that's slowly coming to that. But then all of a sudden, it's basketball time. Another door's open. It's wrestling time. Am I missing something else? Swimming is around the corner.
Well, I think there might be. Yeah, I mean, there's
indoor track maybe.
There's always normally multiple sports, and
yeah,
it's opening up.
So just there's a lot starting to open up too, and I'm sure I missed a half a dozen, but there's so many of them now. And I even saw a post. I think maybe Ryan might have posted it up. We've got the flag football tournament that's starting now. The bracket on it, and I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag because we had a conversation firsthand with people in high places. Let's just say that. And this flag football thing, folks, all I'm going to say about it is going to be taken off. Or is that saying too much? That's all. That's saying a little bit, but not too much.
Well, what I'm going to say is I think that's a sport that every school across the state needs to look into.
Yeah, it's going to
they
be.
Need to look into about building
the next big thing pretty soon, and it really it's an interesting sport. I mean, we learned a lot from it a couple of weeks ago and can't wait to get another guest on, pretty soon about it, just to learn more about it. But now while we're back on the football mode, let's finish up with 3A, okay? And then we'll hop into 4A. 3A, of course, Bell rode to a convincing win. They bring Lawrence County to town. Lawrence is a good team. You spoke a little bit about Lawrence County. I just see it as a point, like I said earlier. I see a point where it says it looks like they have a hard time against the run, and they're fixing to face Bell County. And what can I say about that, Edward? I mean, And you see where I'm going at here, and but I'm sure Lawrence County will come with a game plan, and nothing's easy this time. This time at all, and it's going to be an interesting game up there for sure. Weather is going to be a factor again, like always this time of year. That's going to also be a factor, but that's a long trip for them. It's a long trip from Millersboro, and it'll be a really good game. Um, and I'm not going to look ahead about the possibilities because that just, Edward, you know just as well as me, so much could happen Friday night to send these teams so many different directions. It's really not even worth us, putting the time and effort into to breaking out each and every element that could possibly happen if this team wins, this team loses. And trust me, folks, me and Edward's been rattling our brains for 2 days now about what happens if this team loses, what happens if this team loses. There's so many possibilities, and uh, some might seem rougher than others, but the bottom line is, all teams are good at this
It's
point.
again, the bottom line to that too is it's the game of football, and the way the weather's turning out, it's going to be wet and nasty. So again, RPI based, you may be the underdog coming into the matchup, or you could be the big dog being by RPI. But one turnover changes the whole outlook of a game.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of upsets, RPIs type upsets that happened just last Friday, and one that hits me right off the bat is Lexington. We know how good they are losing at home to Paris. It happens. I believe I don't know if you could call this. You probably call this an upset. I believe Coda Catholic went and beat Johnson Central at home. Call that as what you want to call it, but it's still a lower seeded RPI team that wins on the road, which is an RPI based upset. And I think Glasgow they lost to a team that they were sort of favored in, which sort of changed the whole dynamics in 3A. But again, that's something would take us an hour and a half to break down and talk about. But that really changed the dynamics in 3A quite a bit. That one game. Now let's go on to 4A, and we just spoke to Cole and convinced win against Lincoln County. And Lincoln County, Edward, man, you had talked about it. Lincoln County, a good team. Lincoln County was a really sneaky good team. Had only lost 2 games, and let's be honest, Corbin took it to them. And now they get to travel to Highlands.
Yeah, and that's a hefty, about 3 hour drive, 3 hour and 30 minute, give or take. And but again, I am in Middlesboro, so it's going to be a little bit closer for Corbin, but still, 2.5, 3 hours on a school bus. That's a very long drive without being able to stretch your legs.
Yeah.
So, Corbin's going to have to get up there a little early, get their legs back underneath them. And I can see, a dogfight in that game. And, Corbin's not one-dimensional like most teams. They'll run the ball, they'll throw the ball, they'll hit you with a few trick plays. So, that they've got, quite a few aces up their sleeve. But again, you are talking about a traditional powerhouse in Fort Thomas Highlands that will be ready for about anything you can throw at them. But you are also talking about Corbin will throw everything and the kitchen sink at you to come out the victor in that game. So you're going to have a good old-fashioned dogfight.
Let's be honest here. Edward, most teams that would go to Fort Thomas Highlands, let's be honest, would be intimidated.
Yep.
Corbin's not going to be intimidated. Corbin's played everybody. Corbin's played the Frederick Douglasses. Corbin's played the
Johnson Centrals,
Johnson Centrals, the Bull Counties, the
Bryant Stations, Paducah Tillmans.
The team out of Tennessee helped me here. It was really, really good. Won state
Alcoa
championship. Yeah, Alcoa
for 11 straight years now.
Corbin is not worried about the competition, about going up there. The lights ain't gonna be too bright for them. If Highlands beat Corbin, Highlands going to bring their best. Highlands ain't going to intimidate them. Corbin will come out and look intimidating himself. When Corbin comes out on that field, dressing as many players as they do. They've got a player in Malachi that's absolutely being recruited by everybody in the country. Everybody in the country. I'm seeing offer after offer after offer after offer. And, Highlands has got a little bit of a story themselves. I believe they got Jarrett Lorenzen's kid up there playing quarterback, where's that played? And I'm sure that means a lot to that young man, too, to be able to play the same position, same school as his old man did. And I love Jarrett Lorenzen. And when you're talking to Jarrett Lorenzen, you're talking about my time, and me remembering him and a guy by the name, I believe, Derek Smith, I believe, that came to Kentucky together, tight end quarterback combo deal. Maybe I might have got the tight end's name wrong. Hopefully I didn't, but that's just what hit my head. I have my moments every now and then. But like I said, Corbin's not going to be intimidated by that environment at all. And, if I didn't have this thing called a job, I know where I'd be at. That would be the game to ride up and actually go and watch. And are they a true underdog that game? Let's be honest. You can't make Corbin an underdog in that game, and you probably can't make Highlands either. That game is just like what you said. It's going to boil down to the turnovers, always a side factor. Just stuff like that. But them teams are evenly matched, and Corbin ain't going to go down to a fight. And
Absolutely. That'll boil down to like how the young man I interviewed Friday said, that game could possibly turn into a game of inches.
But folks, if you can make it to that game, that's definitely the game to go to. And coach, we're finally over our volleyball vacation and back to. I'm not going to say the ball and grind, but we're back at it trying to. But I guess we're doing okay. I'm sort of waiting for supper here, and I don't know what Edward's doing. Edward's just been playing with the gizmos all night long here.
Well, and also on a side note, but Bobby D, I plan on coming and probably seeing your boys on Monday and Tuesday. If everything goes right, you should see me on Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, and I can't wait till you give me the report on that. That would and we know Coach. He knows what he's doing, and that would be definitely a fun bunch to go and cover. But love you, Coach, and love everything you did for us. And you know what, folks, love is a word that nobody really says enough, and love is a word that people should cherish and say it a whole lot more. Well, go ahead and post it. Go ahead, Edward.
So it says we play at Barville tomorrow night and at home Tuesday. Have a great group. Love for y'all to come check them out. like I said, as long as everything rolls out for me, it will be Monday and Tuesday. If not, it will for sure be Tuesday.
And you know,
I'll for sure be there.
and, you know that's it's an exciting time of year, you know, and I hauled a group of kids up at your neck of the woods at a school that you're very very familiar with, Edward Page. Yeah, and watched a lot of middle school action up there too. So and it just it's just a fun time of year and just you know it's a fun time of year. You know, it just this is it. You know, there's you got the football state tournament going on. You got basketball launching now. You got wrestling launching. You got other sports launching. We just got through with volleyball and just they're just a very exciting time of year and one of the best holidays in the world coming up. You know, Thanksgiving. Corbin Millsboro Bell will win week 3, represent this region well. Hard to argue with that, coach. And I'm telling you, all 3 of those teams are absolutely going to bring it. And it's can't argue that point.
It's true. I mean, you can't argue that point. All 3 teams are going to go in with all guns ablazing.
Yeah.
You know, ready for a war.
But now we've said it all year, and you know, and unfortunately the season ended for North and South and 5A. But we said that you know there was a real we had some real contenders here all year in all classes, and not just in one. And it's proven with you know with what North and South did in 5A, and then you look at what you know Corbin Bell Millsboro's doing right now. You look at this late surge at Knox Central. I had put on a great win on the road at Letcher County. And I'm telling you, it's there's a lot of really really good teams, and can you imagine how? Well, we could go 4.5 4 hours if we talk about how good basketball is going to be around here. It's unbelievable the athletes that we got in this area, and not only just at the varsity level, the junior varsity middle school, all in all, they are some really good players in a lot of schools in this area, and we got the easy part. We just get to go watch them and cover them. You know, they put all the work in. But that being said, Edward, let's go ahead and vote on their Final Four. And honestly, I didn't keep up with the other two's votes, so I don't know how Ryan's going to tally this up. But if it had to be these two, but I'll let you go ahead.
I'm gonna go remember the Titans.
I'm gonna go remember the Titans too. Just too much of a true storyline with that. I mean, Blindside has got a true storyline to it too, but I'll take the storyline from Remember the Titans over the Blindside storyline.
So you done remember the Titans?
Yep. But do you remember Cole's and Patience's votes?
Yep.
I'm gonna be the only one that's gonna probably say Friday Night Lights here. I mean, I know Sandlot's good, but my goodness, I know you're gonna say Sandlot.
I'm going Sandlot. So you went Friday Night Lights?
Yeah.
But I went with the classic.
Coach said Corbin is always going to compete. Bill is going to compete as long as old Dud is around. Millsboro looks very solid right now. They return about it all next year. And you're absolutely right about Millsboro. Millsboro, folks, if you see Millsboro in a back alley, run. So don't try to fight them. Don't try to deal with them. Just run. that very scary team next year in single A football. And yeah, everything that they do this year, it's going to be hard not to say, oh my, they got a lot of returners. And and plus we know they got one of the greatest of all time that's coaching them up too. So um, yeah, he ain't third in all time wins for a reason, folks. He knows what he's doing. And but yeah, that team gets scary next year. They're scary this year. But ever do you have us a tally? Did you look on their Facebook, or
Well, I
does
didn't look on the
Ryan want to
Facebook
do?
or I
Okay,
didn't look on
Ryan.
the Facebook or nothing, but from show votes and show votes only, you will have Remember the Titans 3, Blindside 1, Friday Night Lights 1, Sandlot 3.
So it looks like it's going to be a Remember the Titans versus Sandlot for the national championship, unless something drastically changes. Which I don't know. I have no idea about that matchup. But good show, good show. We're about 17 minutes over, but we knew we had a lot to talk about. But Edward, just tell us a little bit about your week coming up. Tell us about maybe Friday night plans. Tell us a little bit about your show, and then just final comments or whatever you want to do. Floor is yours, my man.
Well, as far as Wednesday's show, I'm working on trying to get a couple big guests lined up. And as far as my plans, well, you've done heard it here first. I'm going to try hopefully Monday and Tuesday. If not, it's a guarantee on Tuesday that I will be out covering, getting my first opportunity of seeing some middle school basketball. As far as Friday, I'm still in a dilemma whether I'm going to make the long drive to Pikeville or if I'm going to go up on Log Mountain, or potentially, depending on what time I get off work, am I going to make the dreadful drive to Fort Thomas Highlands? So, you don't know where I'm going to end up at this Friday. It's all based on what time I get off work.
Fort Thomas would be, I'm telling you, it's very tempting to me also. It's been a long time since I've been to Highlands. A long time since I've been to Highlands. I don't think Corbin, I think Corbin can pull that off. And that's no hometown bias. Corbin's not going to be rattled by playing Highlands. They've played them all. Highlands is going to have to bring it to beat them. And we watched Corbin. Corbin's good, folks. They're really good. And that's a very tempting trip to make. I would almost be about tempted to try and make that with you if I could make that happen. That's a tempting trip to make. Um, but anything else, Edward, before we close the show?
That's about it.
Okay. But just again, thank you to all our viewers. Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to all the photographers who help us along. Coach Daniels, we love you. Love everything you did for us. And good luck to your team. And we know you're going to coach them up well. We know you got a great group of guys. And we know they're going to do their thing because you're going to make sure they're doing their thing. And I always love to visit down there at Pineville. It's family down there, and just can't say enough about the fine folks at Pineville and how they treat us every time we go down there, and nothing but love down there. It's like a high fiving everybody down there. Now, I'm still jealous as crap over John North's hair. He was calling the game the other night, and I was still talking about his hair. I can't get enough about that hair. John North, you got the best hair in the business. I'm jealous. I'll keep saying I'm jealous. That hair is just amazing. Edward, am I right? The hair is amazing. Yeah, I'm jealous. But that being said, I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something, but I can't accept not trying. From the greatest of all time, MJ himself, his airness. From all of us at the Bryant Family Medicine All Sports Media, good night and God bless.
Debate for another time.